Hey guys, so we got it to work on this computer. I know the picture isn't all that good on this one, but that's the way it goes. For some reason, I don't know, we got that newer computer with the Windows 10. It doesn't work very well on this one. So it should be live here. We'll see if I've got the comments and all that on there. So it should work. Yeah, it does work. For some reason, this is my old computer that's got Windows 8 on it, and it works really well. The newer one that has Windows 10 that has a crappy camera, we can't get to work on that one. So yeah, it works, and I can read the comments and all that. I don't know, for some reason I don't have any luck with the newer computers, or basically any computers for that matter. So yeah, I don't know why. If with the other computers, if you use the wrong browser, I don't know, whatever. Actually, my phone doesn't help because this is my phone, so I got one of these. All this is for is making calls. I can't even text on it. All right, so we have this Chrome. I had Chrome on that other one, so for some reason it doesn't bring up the. Anyhow, so you got the crappy picture and the crappy sound, but I can read your comments. So. So I was just telling you guys, so what we did is I don't know if you guys have been watching those videos in Cerro Gordo. Those guys were just up there. They did some work on the American Hotel. And they have a guy went up there and give him a hand. And they have they use that army truck in there. Well, we bought one like that. So we've got this dump truck for our gold mine. It's a BMY Harsco. So it's kind of a pretty cool army truck. It's a 6x6, has central inflation on it. It runs an 8.3 Cummins in it. So we bought it at an auction. We brought it back, and we've been kind of fooling around with this 6x6 army truck. It was pretty cool. So we have a big Ho 300 Caterpillar, an EL 300. So we're using that to build the roads and everything into our mine up there. So so that's what we're going to do. We're going to build this. There's a mine in there. It's got about a mile of workings. We're going to do a bunch of work in there. We have it all fixed up so the public can come into this mine. And we're going to put all our artifacts, or a lot of artifacts, the rolling stock, the hoist, the tram cars, and all that kind of stuff, have it operating inside the mine, so people can go in there, see all the artifacts, and do that. So that's our long-term plan. If you put stuff underground, want it to deteriorate, not necessarily. It depends how dry it is in there. So we got to drain the water out of it. There's actually water running out of it, but we're going to make a ditch in there and pipe it, so we'll have areas in there where it's fairly dry. So so long as you can control the humidity, then it's not going to if you got good airflow and you can control the humidity, then it'll be just as good as being underground. So it's a matter of controlling the environment under those trucks, they're kind of funny. So the one thing about them that's kind of bad for mine's a dump truck, right? So the one thing that's kind of funny about them is they don't have jake brakes. So the reason is, in the Army, they want to be stealthy. They don't want to hear people coming from a long ways away. So when you're going down steep hills, there's no jake, and it's just got an automatic transmission. It doesn't have a standard. So you're kind of relying on the brakes quite a bit, which makes, I don't know, if you're used to driving trucks and stuff, it make you kind of nervous going down a hill, having to ride the brakes and not being able to use the engine basically to slow it down too much. So. Airflow, you have to run the fans constantly. There's quite a bit of airflow going through there, so that's not really a problem. It's more to do with the humidity. So there's quite a bit of water running in the mine, but it's from the very top part of the mine to the bottom hall level. It's about 300 feet. There's a big shaft that's plugged right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to restore the whole mine. We got to do a bunch of timbering on the outside. There's railway track in it, so we're going to run our ore cars into the mine, build the shaft is plugged right now, full of small material, kind of like rocks and stuff. We're going to build an ore chute in there, so we'll be able to use the ore chute to fill the tram cars. Then we tram all that material out of there, get all the ore out of there, and then so there's about 800 feet of the mine that nobody's been into since the 30s because it's collapsed that part. So we're going to get all the material out of there, muck it out, and then we can get back into the back part. So that's be pretty exciting because we don't know what's in the back part of the mine. And we got some drawings that Ron is random guy on YouTube. He's helped us out, and he's actually give us a whole bunch of drawings and maps and stuff, so we know we can get back way in there. Yeah, once you unplug the shaft with the help of the airflow, oh, absolutely. Yeah, the air will just come screaming down into there for sure. So yeah, that's going to be kind of a lot of fun. So what we did right now is we got to build all the roads to get up in there because they're old roads, and so we can get up there and build a house up there and the museum buildings. And we're gonna get a band mill, so we're gonna saw our own timbers and all that kind of stuff for the tracks and for the trestles and everything. Will you go to Cerro Gordo, California to explore those mines? Yeah, we've talked to Brent a bunch of times on the phone, and yeah, he's invited us up there. They're pretty busy up there right now, but the problem is we're still locked into Canada here because of this COVID thing, so we're not able to drive into America, which is a kind of a crazy thing because you can fly to the States, but you can't drive. So what's the difference? I don't get that part. You can fly back and forth from Canada to the States, but you can't drive down. So. But obviously, if we go to there, we got to be able to bring our vehicle and side by side and our trailer and stuff up there, so we got some place to stay. So, all right, I don't see Frank buying electric anything actually. Sharon just got an electric chainsaw, which is actually be really cool for in the mines if she lets me use it, because you don't have all the fumes and stuff that you're dealing with underground. So, yeah, so it's kind of weird with this. Yeah, I don't understand why this live chat works good on one platform, not on the other. With the cordless chainsaw, we find it doesn't last very long. So like we have steel chainsaws, and we logged for a good part of my life. So the cordless saw only works for, I don't know, probably 20 minutes or something like that. Where with the gas type, you have more power and it lasts for longer, but. It's great to stick in the side by side, or if you're doing something on the ground and just doing a couple things. It's not, you can't really grab it and go out there and cut it, pick up truckload of firewood or anything like that. So, but it works good for an odd little job, and we always like the steel saws. Hey, you gonna come join us, Sharon? So we're having a tough time with it's frustrating when you go to try to do a live chat and then something's not working, and you guys can kind of waiting for us and all that. So. And I'm not most patient person, and Sharon's like, try this and try that, but I'm saying that we got to get going. We can. All right. Yeah, the batteries for that chainsaw, I think they were 200 some odd bucks. They're pretty expensive. So, but like I say, it's great to throw just in the side by side because it's nice and quiet, and you can use it underground. So everything costs a lot more in Canada than it does in the States too. So. Hi, from Amherst, New York, subs of Buffalo. Subways? No? Subway sandwiches? Oh, good morning, Sharon. Ralph says good morning, Sharon. She's just getting herself a cup of tea. I love steel saws too. Yeah, so we use steel saws pretty much all my life. I've had 4 sawmills. And so we're getting this band sawmill. So the trouble with band sawmills they're pretty... No, I'm not buying an electric. Somebody mentioned I'm buying an electric truck. No, I'm not buying an electric truck. Yeah, I don't know. Huskies Huskies and Steel are kind of pretty similar. They're just one of it's like having a Chevy or Ford. Neither as good as a Dodge, but. Can you return to the States and explore Nevada mines? Yeah. Well, it kind of depends on the time of year we can get into there. Like I say, you can't get into the border is still closed at least till the 21st of July. So the problem with Nevada is generally we like to go to the States in the wintertime when there's snow here, and they got a lot more snow in Nevada and Colorado than they do even here in the wintertime. So it's a matter of timing when you can get into there. Frank, you're going to do live or videos as you fix up the mine. Well, I don't know. We'll just kind of have to see how that goes. We're just going to try to concentrate on the series that we're doing with the Monster Mega Mine for now. Like we're shooting a bunch of stuff as we're doing some work with the hoe and we just drilled the well, and we've done a bunch of video going into the new mine. But we're trying to kind of finish up the Monster Mega thing, and we're going to go back in it and do some more stuff there, and then we can kind of move to that. I don't know what the future is going to look like for the channel as far as continuing on doing a lot more videos. We do enjoy traveling different places and going to the videos, doing the videos. It's getting to the point where we've been to the most of the mines around here. And then we're kind of getting less and less people watching this stuff all the time anyhow. So at some point, I don't know, maybe people are more interested in other stuff. I don't know. But so we're gradually probably going to transition into more about building this mine and doing that kind of stuff, and then just doing some stuff while we're on the road. So I don't know, we might kind of change things a little bit. The flow from the well, it doesn't seem to be great. I don't know. We can't really tell. They drilled it down. All they need is about 500 gallons a day for the well, so we'll have that. The mine that we have quite a bit of water running to the mine year round, and basically it's just there's about 300 vertical foot shafts. So from the top of the mountain going right to the mountain to the hall level, there's water coming into there. So what's the difference between that and a well? It's just a well is a small hole, through the rock, and then a shaft is a big hole. So theoretically, if we test that water, it should be good one way or the other. Frank, you're going to build a tramway at the mine. Yes, that's what we're intending on doing. So we have 3 really nice tram buckets, and we know where there's the brakes and stuff for a tram, and we have the cable and all that kind of stuff. So the way that mine worked is the ore come out of the bottom part of the mine, and then they had a trestle that they just drove right over top there, dumped the ore into the bin, and then there's trucks that hauled it out of there. So this bin is all rotted and everything. We would like to try to keep it, but we can't really save it. We'd like to build another bin just like that, but have a tram terminal at the bottom of the bin and have a working tram that we can show people how that works. So it's going to be a lot of work. I mean, we're going to spend probably years doing all this kind of stuff, but we got nothing better to do. So we're really looking forward to doing that. And we have to do quite a bit of timbering to make the mine safe, because the first 50 feet or so are kind of really kind of scabby. So we're going to saw big 8x8 timbers and put it all up and have it so it's good for the public to go in there. We don't want any rocks falling on anyone's head. So yeah. So we've been in and out of there quite a bit. We're not worried about it, but yeah, it looks kind of not so great, eh? So, Frank, would you and Gly ever hook up again? I probably don't think so. I mean, we did a bunch of videos together. They were some of the least popular videos. A lot of the people that watch my channel are kind of saying, well, they don't really enjoy his style. So we got kind of different styles. He likes to go kind of slow and talk about rocks and stuff, and we're just more interested in keeping it kind of fast paced and doing more rope work and going deeper into mines. So, and then especially with his new partner is even I don't know, slower than him, I guess. So, but it's kind of a different style. So we'd actually be more interested in going and doing some videos with Brent and Cerro Gordo. We have more of a similar style or something where so that would probably be a better nothing against Gly or anything like that. It's just we're doing different things. So, and when you get too many people in the mine, it's just really kind of slows things down anyhow, especially if you're doing rope stuff, because you have to wait for the top guy to kind of clear it, come down, because rocks come down and all that kind of stuff. So when you get too many people in the mine, it doesn't work all that well. All right, so and the other thing too about our show or whatever. I mean, if we get busy working on this new mine and we don't have time to do a lot of traveling and produce stuff, I mean, we've still got about 260 videos or something we've produced over the last 6 or 7 years. So if you guys get bored, you can watch them. I mean, I'm sure most of you haven't watched all of them, and I don't know. And it is kind of a bit of a struggle to keep things interesting every week, because it's pretty boring if you just keep going into the same into mines over and over again. Yeah, that's my phone's always screaming at me. All right, if we could hide that somewhere, Sharon, that'd be great. All right, so I'll read some of your comments. I'm sorry if I haven't responded to a bunch of stuff that you've done. It's kind of hard to talk and read at the same time, so it's not that I'm ignoring you. Just make the comment again if you don't mind. Cool, we can help you with donations once the border opens to explore over winter the Nevada mines. Well, the problem with Nevada mines in the wintertime is there's a lot of snow there. So, but we'll just have to kind of see what we can do. We'll just kind of have to make it up as we go along. Jim says, I've watched every one of your videos. Well, thanks, Jim. Can you just hide that thing somewhere? It just keeps making noise. I've got the most annoying phone that it just goes crazy. If you put it in another room, that'd be awesome. Linda, we passing through Grand Forks in about 3 hours. I was going to ask you, so my powered parachute, I just had those blades supposed to fixed up there in Vernon. I wonder if you're in Vernon sometime. I'll talk to you on the phone about it. I'd like to get that powered parachute flying again. P Tier says, hi, Sharon. Say hi. Wave, Sharon. That's not her hand. Hi, Jim. Thanks, Frank and Sharon, for doing what you're doing. You're welcome. And most of the time, we just kind of do this because we really enjoy it. So we've got lots more kind of really interesting stuff that we got planned for the Monster Mega Mine. So at some point, we're probably going to tell you guys where that mine is. But the problem is, and the main reason we don't do it, well, partially is because we don't want people to go in there, but nobody's going to go in there because you got to rope straight 235 feet straight down the little hole into a dark hole to even start exploring it. But the other thing is the company that actually owns that mine, they don't know we're in there. So if we start talking about, then they will know we're in there, and then maybe they're going to make it so we can't get in there, which will cost them lots of money. But they may do that. So we don't want to spoil it for you guys. We want to try to get as much video out of that mine as we can before the shit hits the fan, so to speak. All right, so let us know when you come back to the States so we can help with you guys with donations. Yeah, we'll see. So there's two things that we're really kind of looking forward to. Probably as soon as the border opens, we might just go for a shorter trip, maybe a month or so or whatever. So we'd like to go to Cerro Gordo and do some stuff with Brent. And we also like to hook up with Jeff Williams and do some stuff with him. So we've been kind of talking to both of them, and then maybe do some more stuff around in California, the Tolia area. It's got lots of really cool mines we'd like to get to. So we'd like to do some of that kind of stuff. All right, so I don't know, a lot of people talk about risk and stuff, and we don't really consider it a lot of risk, or not for myself anyhow. Sometimes when I look at some of the videos, I think, well, that was kind of crazy. But we don't do it for views on YouTube or to make money or anything like that. It's just kind of my style. I like to go pretty fast, and I don't worry too much about stuff. So eventually maybe something will happen, but we're all going to die eventually, so I don't worry about it all that much. Not like I'm not jumping out of aircrafts without a parachute or anything like that, but is it impossible to live stream in a mine? No, absolutely. You can't get a cell service in a tunnel, never mind a mine. You could, I could probably live stream outside the mine. Well, I know we can, probably. I know we can, yeah. It's actually difficult too if you can get a really good cell signal. I think we could. The problem with that is you need a really fast connection or whatever to be able to live stream properly. Otherwise, it's a problem. But we did it down in the States one time, and usually the internet in the States is way slower than it is in Canada. Believe it or not, we actually have better internet service in Canada. Our socialist government spent lots of money to give us all high-speed internet. So, and we kind of take it for granted. We think everywhere in the world they have good high-speed internet, but they certainly do not. In the States, like even in pretty big cities or something, the internet was really slow compared to what we see here. I don't know how many things a minute or whatever, but like at home we got fiber optic here, so I can download one of my videos, which I don't know how big it is, but 15 minutes, a half-hour video. And in lots of places in the States, it would take a half a day to upload it. Rick Dale, I've seen every video and enjoyed every one. Thanks. Sometimes when I watch some of the older ones, I think, oh my God, but people still watch them. But probably for the last few years, they've been quite a bit better than they were when they first started. But it's kind of a real challenge, especially with the light. The video cameras, most people don't know that, but video cameras, they shoot at they have to shoot about maybe 60 frames per second or something like that. If there's not enough light, they just slow down. So they shoot way less frames per second. So then when you start panning, then it looks all really blurry because your frame rate's so slow. So the lighting is difficult. It actually costs a lot of money to produce videos for YouTube too, underground, because the cameras are very expensive. We just ordered another camera. I think I'm on my fourth camera. They're $2,000 a piece, right? So And we've tried all these different cameras, and we just can't get decent cameras that are rugged, that we could take underground where the sound's decent. And so same with drones. I think I've went through 4 drones. So we've spent maybe $20,000 just on drones and cameras since we've been doing this for the last 7 years. So we do, we get money from YouTube, so that kind of pays for that kind of stuff, or it pays a bunch of our expenses at least. So but don't get rich off it. But it is expensive to produce that kind of stuff. I enjoy Sharon Still's videos. Ends. Yeah, she takes some really good pictures. So, and the same thing, it takes a long time. She's had really good luck with her camera. Come here, sit down. Sit down. You can toast. You don't have to talk. But you can if you want. But
no, that's okay.
You might as well. People can see your lovely face here. See, so she's having some breakfast. She was actually Sharon. She bakes sourdough bread, so she was up till 1 o'clock in the morning because she forgot to put some bread in the oven, and then she had to do that. iPhones have 4K cameras. When I got mine, is 180 by default. Really, the 4K thing is like a red herring. On your, however you guys watch these videos, unless you have a 10-foot screen, you're not going to notice the difference between 4K and 1080. Certainly not on your phone. You won't notice it. So, we don't shoot in 4K. The reason is it takes way longer to edit. It takes about 4 times more space and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think there's any valid reason to shoot in 4K. So unless you're planning on, shooting for theaters or something like that, the YouTube videos and the quality that we have at 1080 is plenty. So yeah, I think it's oversold. Sharon, what is your favorite tea? The kind that I make. She seems to like my tea better. No. Well, anytime somebody does something for you, it's always nice, right? What is your favorite tea?
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. Why do you send Sharon first in a mine? It's always good to have somebody in not because she's braver than I am or something, but when you're shooting a video in a mine, it's always good to have a person or something in there for perspective, because if you're looking at something, you can't tell how big it is. And then plus she's pretty small, so everything looks big. But that's for the main reason. If you can get someone in the picture, it gives you some perspective how big of a pillar or a shaft or something like that is. And you can tell which way is up too, because otherwise, if you're looking down a hole, you can't tell if you're looking up or down. So it's kind of better.
Sharon is just cooler.
Cooler than what? Who? Oh, I got cut off. I can't see the rest of it. Yeah. I've never seen anyone as brave as you. Well, it just kind of all depends on what you're used to doing. If you do something on a regular basis, you kind of get comfortable with it. Just she sends Sharon first so we can view the backside. Yeah, Sharon's better looking than you too. Well, you're not all that. You're not a supermodel either, there, Mr. Ron. We're all beautiful people on the inside. Maybe scruffy looking on the outside. Well, me anyhow. You're not scruffy looking on the outside.
Were you a miner before this YouTube stuff?
No, I never did. I was never a miner. I wouldn't mind working as a miner. So what? I explored a few mines when I was younger, in my 20s. And then when I kind of retired here, I had an airplane. So I flew it over a big mine here called Phoenix. It just looks like Swiss cheese from the air. So you're flying over that. Oh, that's pretty cool. I remember exploring some mines and basically just had nothing better to do. And then I've been doing it pretty much full time ever since. That was about 6 or 7 years ago, I guess. So, but I've been in way more mines than most miners ever have. Like I've talked to lots of miners, and they're kind of, there's some miners and stuff around here. And I say, well, have you been to this mine or that mine? He says, oh, no, we'd never go in that mine. We'll just watch you. So it's kind of funny that the miners are kind of squeamish. Everything's not all timbered up and all that. And they didn't seem to want to go in them. So,
any plans to take Sharon out to Antiochs?
Well, my buddy Kevin was out working there, but he's not there right now. So yeah, we'd like to go there sometime. We'll see how that works. Could you buy a mine like Cerro Gordo and do something like that? Yeah, Canada? Well, that's what we did. It's not as big as the one in Cerro Gordo, and Cerro Gordo is kind of cool because it has lots of mines, but they're not really large mines. We've been in much larger mines than the Union mine and stuff that's in Cerro Gordo. And The other thing about Cerro Gordo, there's probably not that much more to see there. There's been people exploring that pretty heavy for a long period of time, and I know that a buddy of mine that Britt Eaton there, he's kind of a gene expert. He was in touch with the guy who was there before Brent, and he'd been all through there and kind of got all the artifacts and the genes and stuff out of there. So there's probably not really all that much to see. It's kind of cool. The story is neat because you can see, well, I wish that was me that was in there and could fix up all those buildings and do that. So that's kind of the cool thing about it. So, hi, how long have you been mining? We're not mining. So, the days of the mom and pop operation where you can go in there and find a little bit of gold somewhere and take it to a smelter or something are long gone. There's virtually all the gold and silver and stuff in hard rock mines is microscopic, and in the old days you used to have to take it to a smelter, but there was 4 smelters around here. You could just take a couple sacks of ore, take it to a smelter, and they give you the gold and give you the money for that or whatever. Those days are long gone. You just can't. You can't do that. There's no mills operating here. There's no smelters. Even if you found a bunch of ore, there's virtually nothing you could do with it unless you had a great big huge mining company that built a very expensive and a big mill and shipped the concentrate offshore.
Hope you're both well. Are you planning any new large mine visits this year?
Well, we've been in a huge mine all year. So since January, pretty much every week we've been in the same mine. So that's the Monster Mega Mine. It's probably the biggest and the coolest mine I've ever seen. And we're still less than halfway to the bottom. So we're going to continue. We just keep going on that mine. I don't know how you could get any more awesome than that one. I mean, tough to get into. There's all kinds of cool artifacts and away it goes. You own a mine, yes. So we just bought a mine. It was a gold mine in near where we live, and it last operated in 1938. Not a huge mine, probably about a mile of workings on the main hall level, but it's collapsed, so we haven't gotten right to the very back yet. So we have to muck out this shaft to get to the back. So it'll be interesting to see what we can find on the back. But yeah, there's rails going into it, and then the top level, it's got it was a gold and silver mine. The top level's got about 5 or 6 adits. Have you ever found any old tools like a pickaxe? Oh, we got a huge collection of pickaxes, shovels, old drill steel. We got a whole museum full of all kinds of tools.
How big is the mine you're in now? Huge.
Huge, yeah. It's got 97 kilometers or 60 miles of tunnels. It was 4 mines. What happens was a really rich gold mine, and that kind of played out, and then this company ended up buying all the mines around there and then join them all together. So it's not actually one mine. It's actually a complex of mines, which is why it's so big. And there's so many shafts. And what happened was back in, it kind of played out around 1928. They didn't operate it after that. It started in 1891. And then the company just had leasers, people that just went in there and they just kind of grabbed a little bit here and there. And then they closed the whole thing off in 1942, closed all the exits, and then as far as they knew, nobody could ever get in there, but we found a way in. You could build a small smelting furnace. Well, all that's good for is maybe doing a little samples or something like that. It's not, you can't mine, typically a rich deposit of gold or pretty good deposit of gold would be an ounce per ton. So you're not going to smelt a ton of ore to get an ounce of gold. It's never going to happen. So.
Have you ever been in a situation where you or someone in the group needed to be rescued?
No, and we've never been even really hurt or anything serious. We fall through some rotten stuff or false floors where it wasn't very far down, that we kind of knew that wasn't that good, but it wasn't too far down. And then the only other thing that's happened was a rock kind of hit me on the shoulder pretty hard one time and bruised it up when we were when I was with Sharon in the Yankee group. No, I don't know. Which mine was that? I can't remember. It was really steep in Weimar. It's a really steep, and then the rope actually, that's the problem. See, when you're in these real steep inclined shafts or stopes or whatever, and you have lots of loose rock, and then the rope's moving around, so the rope can just lodge rocks and come down. That's the biggest hazard when you're climbing those steep mines with the rope. People say, oh, you should have 2 ropes because it's safer. Well, it's actually twice as dangerous. There's no reason a rope would just break, but... how much gold have you found so far? Absolutely none. We don't have, well, we got some rocks that might have some gold in it. Cloud9 Novelties. I haven't seen you guys for a long time. Hope you're doing good in Nova Scotia. You guys are a pretty awesome couple. You guys sent me all kinds of cool stuff. We still got your coffee cup, and I'm drinking. They give me this real cool coffee cup, and I'm still drinking coffee out of it every morning. So Cloud9 Novelties are in Nova Scotia. So they got a little head shop there. Give them a shout out if you need to buy some pipes or papers or whatever. So their question was, did you stay overnight in the Monster Mega Mine yet? We have not. So Yankee Girl in Weimer, yes. We haven't done it yet, so it's something I've been fantasizing about. Do you carry a satellite phone? It doesn't do any good underground anyhow. We just have a spot tracker, so you can push that if you're outside and you have some sort of emergency. But the problem with all that is search and rescue and British Columbia won't even go underground. I don't know, they're not really any good anyhow. So basically you're on your own. I've got some friends that I go exploring mines with, and especially the Monster Mega. We've been in there with about some other people, and we just have to call one of them, and we would have to help ourselves. There's nothing really the government's going to do to help you. Random guy, what's the metal concentration at Elk? So the Elk is a large gold mine they're thinking of starting up. But, most of all these, I hate to say it, but most of all these little mining ventures are just really a stock market scam where these little companies say, oh, they got this gold or silver or whatever, and it shows promising, and they're going to do this and that or whatever. The fact is they're never going to do nothing.
Turn your mine into a glamping bed and breakfast.
Bed and breakfast. Yeah, we've got 27 acres there, and it's really beautiful property. It's fairly steep, got big trees in it, and we've got like a big hole and a truck and stuff. So we're thinking about making some little spots where people could bring their camp out with their trailers or something like that. A few spots or whatever, if the people want to camp up near the mine or whatever.
Have you ever actually got lost in a mine?
Yeah, sort of. Not for too long. I mean, maybe for a few hours. It's the Monster Mega Mine. It's just a huge problem. It's a weird mine. Like they got all these. It just goes around in circles, and that usually a mine is like a tree. It goes up and it's got branches, and then you can go up to the one and then come back and then go to another. But this one, they just go around in circles all over the place. I don't know. I've never seen any kind of a configuration like that. And it's just a problem. You just keep going around and around, and sometimes it's hard to find your way out if you don't do it properly. Would you have any T-shirts, 5XXXXXX? Are you building a tent? Do you want to store a tractor or something? I shouldn't make jokes, I guess. I don't know. You'll have to go on the site. They handle that. We don't make them. So camping underground. Well, that's something you can do for Halloween or something. Maybe it'd be fun. I mean, yeah. I mean, once you get it dried out, it's possible. Why not, eh?
Well, you keep building the museum up. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So we bought a really cool thing, and we haven't shown it to you guys yet, but we have a steam-operated hoist called a Little Giant Hoist, built in 1903. Perfect operating condition. We haven't working on compressed air. You could use that in a shaft to bring buckets up and down. It's really cool. Why don't you carry a short piece of rope in your backpack with you? We usually carry like long pieces of rope, about 200 feet long. So
we used every piece down there.
Yeah, we got all kinds of rope down into the Monster Mega Mine that we just leave at certain stations. It takes a long time to get to where we left off. 2 hours from when you're first to go down and carry on. What's the deepest mine you ever been to? It would be the Rimac. It's 3,000 feet down, but you can only get down 1,500 feet. The rest goes under the river. So about 1,500 feet, like straight down vertical is the deepest that I've been into. What's grams per ton? I don't know, Buck, if you used to buy dope in the old days, there was like 28 grams per ounce. We don't even smoke this shit anymore. Get too old for that. Just get sleepy and go to bed. Frank,
where'd you buy your mine? Right near Grand Forks, BC.
Frank, how big is Gly, friend? Mr. M Gold Mine, you hear about it very often, you never see it. Gly's friend? Oh, I don't know. I've never talked to Mr. M or whatever. I don't know what they do there. So, where did you buy your mine? It's in Grand Forks. So it's actually, we could see it from here. Well, we can see where it is. You can't really look in there, but People would pay big money to a glamorous glamour camp at a mine. The people around here, they'd hardly ever even come to visit our museum. So, but yeah, this would it would definitely so their idea was that we've been in probably about 250 mines. So we got a bunch of this cool stuff. So we want to stick all that in one mine. So for the average person, if you go exploring a mine, they probably wouldn't want to go into it because it wasn't safe to begin with. And if it was safe, they wouldn't find nothing because everything's been hauled out of there. The people have taken it. So this would be a mine where you can go and explore. There'd be all this cool stuff in it. So, so a combination of being safe and lots of cool stuff to see in it. So, and then we can talk to people and educate about the dangers of the mines and explain how all this stuff worked, and they can see it working because the cool thing we have in our museum is a lot of this stuff operates. So we got air drills and mucker chainsaws and now this hoisting. So we would try to get as much of this stuff actually operating as possible. So that's all kind of cool too. So.
Hi from Sweden. Hi from France.
Hello from Montana. Hello
Have
everywhere.
you ever found any mining lamps? Yes.
Mining lamps. We have a whole bunch of carbide lamps. I think we've got maybe 10 of them. Sometimes I've seen several at a time.
Would you like to save a steam shovel and restore it?
Well, that's not going to happen because it's way up in the muskeg in the middle of the Yukon. And the Yukon government, with the thing with the natives there or whatever, nothing's touched. Everything's got to stay and rust in place there. So they don't seem to be, I don't know, they have no interest in doing anything with it except leaving it rust. So that's where it's going to stay, I guess.
Hello from the UK.
We just got a book this guy sent me. We got, it's one thing about our subscribers, and maybe we're not as appreciative. We don't talk about this as much as we could, but so this guy sent me this book here, and it's about railways in the Yukon. So when we went up into that and found that through shovel, so it's a 1904 steam shovel in perfect shape, sitting in the bush in the middle of nowhere where nobody knows where it is. So we did some more history and read this book about it, and it was Joe, what's his name? Schmeiser. I'm sure. It's a German guy, anyways, from Rupert. Real cool guy. Well, no, Lothar. Lothar's name.
Oh, the guy that sent it to you. Yes.
Lothar Schmeiser. She's a real cool guy. Comments on stuff all the time. Hi, Lothar, if you're listening, and really appreciate it. So here's the story on that through steam shovel. We found out from this book. What they did is this company called the Detroit Yukon Mining Company. They bought two of these steam shovels, serial number 69 and 70. And they come from Lorain, Ohio. They brought them up there, and they built a little. They used them for placer mining. They built a little railway, and they used a steam shovel to scoop up pay onto ore carts, and then they pushed them to this incline. Then they winched them up this incline to a sluice plant and dumped the ore into the sluice plant, and then they washed the gravel out of there. They only did that for 1 year. They found out it wasn't. It wasn't really, they couldn't make any money doing that. It was too expensive. And then they used those two shovels to construct a great big huge dredge, number 3 and number 4, which is still in the Yukon. And so those two through shovels, the steam shovels, they excavated big ponds where the dredges were built and used them for construction cranes to build those dredges. So, all right, so that's the story.
Museum in a mine, not right at the moment, but eventually it will be.
Do you have a favorite mine? That's really hard to say. The biggest mines are my favorites. So you got, Phoenix, Antioch, the HB mine, Remac, and obviously the one we're in now, the Monster Mega Mine. So it's, the big ones are the most interesting. Do you explore any mines in the Fort St. John area? I miss the summers. There's no mines up there that I know of. No, we live in Grand Forks. So most of the mines in Canada are within probably 50 miles of the U.S. border.
Do you worry about rappelling into an area with bad air and not having time to get up? I've hit bad air 300 feet after I reopened into a mine here in Colorado.
No, we've never had that happen. Usually when you're rappelling into it, you're a pretty fair-sized hole. The only time we run into bad air is, we don't go into coal mines, so you're going to run into bad air in coal mines all the time. Basically, if you go into a long drift or whatever, and it doesn't open up to anything else, and you got some rotten stuff in there, sometimes you can have bad air because it's just not.
What is the oldest mine you've been in?
The oldest mine that we've been in, probably about 500 years old in Zacatecas, Mexico, or older than that maybe. But they're just small mines, not that impressive because they had to use hand steel and black powder. So, and most of those old mines are pretty rich, so the ore was good too. So they're not really that.
What's the highest altitude mine you visited?
Probably a Trout Lake, the Triune, maybe it'd be around 8 or 9 thousand feet, which is nothing compared to what's in Colorado. I mean, there's all kinds of mines that are 12,000 feet and higher in Colorado. There's more high altitude mine there. The trouble with those high altitude mines, you can only get to them for maybe less than a month of the year because they're snowed in most of the time, at least in Canada. Even in the States, maybe in some too. So, yeah, talk to Justin. Well, that's, yeah, like a lot of that stuff to do with the COVID and stuff got more to do now with politics, I think, than actual. I mean, how does it make any sense that you could jump in a plane and fly to LA or something, spend the weekend, do stuff, whatever, not have a mask or anything like that, and fly back here? Well, maybe you have to be quarantined. I don't know
There's
now,
some
but
mine
yeah.
in Moye that you were St. Eugene mine in Moye.
But you can't drive down.
You said there were some mines there.
In Moye, yeah. Actually, we just drove through there when we brought our army truck back home. So we bombed through there. There's some mines there too. So yeah, there's lots of mines everywhere. What is the smallest mine? Well, the smallest mine is just a little tiny little hole in the ground. So, well, even, I don't know, we always talk about this a lot, but Mark Twain said the definition of a mine was a hole in the ground owned by a liar. So I guess there's big liars and small liars. But, for the most part, so the mines that we explore, people think, oh, there's a whole bunch of gold and stuff left them. And for the most part, it's a hole in the ground that's where the ore, the minerals were, and anything economical has been removed out of there and was shut down. So you wouldn't really expect to see valuable ore in a mine, really. You might, but you wouldn't expect to.
Are there a lot of mines in all provinces?
No, most of them are in the mountainous areas because it's flooded in other areas, difficult to explore mines. So yeah, mountainous areas that have mines.
Cerro Gordo on your radar?
It is. We're going to go there, and we keep answering that question over and over again. But anyhow,
how much for a chopper to go to high altitude mines? We were in one.
So the mines that we went into, I think we paid it's over $1,000 an hour to rent a helicopter, like an A-Star or something like that, going to a mine. But they fly pretty fast, so no, it was way more than $1,000 an hour. It cost us $1,000 for 20 minutes of helicopter time. Yeah, just to go up there and back, which is only a few miles from town. So it was, I think, about $2,600 an hour, maybe closer to $3,000 an hour for a helicopter for an A-Star.
Someone thinks you should put your adventures on DVDs so they can buy them.
Well, why would you buy them? You can get them for free. You can, you can watch them on nothing. You can even watch them on your TV. I don't know if you guys know that, but we watch lots of. If you got the right setup on your TV, you can watch YouTube videos on TV. So
I know you get wet and cold. Have you ever carried heat packs just to be safe and keep from getting hypothermia?
Sharon does. She carries a lot of packs just for her hands and stuff, but I'm tougher. I don't worry about it. But I don't seem to get cold much, so I just keep. The faster you go, the warmer you get. Seems. But yeah, Sharon, her circulation, I don't know, she does put heat packs in her gloves sometimes. Do you have any cats? Actually, we have one in our field. We just cut our hay, and we noticed that there's a whole bunch of vultures, like 13 vultures, and then we went out there, and there was a house cat there. I guess it must have wasn't ours. So I guess we don't really have that cat, but no, we don't have any cats. Any television offers in the works? No, there isn't. So we did that one television show last year, and they keep teasing us, and they're doing promos, and they're doing this and that. We talk to them all the time, but no, there's nothing. There's nothing. They're sniffing around all the time, but there's no. We haven't signed a deal with anyone. Put it that way. I kind of wonder about television. I mean, it seems like nobody watches it anymore. I don't know. I guess Gold Rush and stuff, they do good. That show does good, and we were going to do some work on Gold Rush, but we couldn't get to the States in time to do that without all the restrictions and all that stuff. So, minecart roller coaster, no, that's not going to happen.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, that's when you're going up an incline shaft on a skip and the rope breaks, then you have a minecart roller coaster.
What was the dangerous mine you have been to?
Well, I guess probably the most dangerous is just when you're up in steep mines and there's loose stuff, and then rocks are likely to come down on and have, I guess. So maybe not just because something didn't happen doesn't mean it wasn't dangerous, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Probably as you get older or smarter or whatever, there's more of that you kind of look at it and think, well, you shouldn't go in there. So if nothing happened, I guess it was safe. But
This is not. Well wishes from Tennessee.
yeah, so
Uh,
and coal mines are we keep talking about coal mines, but people keep suggesting we should go into coal mines, but that's far too dangerous for us anyhow. So because you got the loose unstable ground, you got methane, you got black damp, toxic, poisonous, flammable gases. Shouldn't go in coal mines, and we don't. Wasn't a coal mine part of a tour, so obviously that was all been secured up and the airflow's there and they've monitored it. So, was there an update on that mine you visited in the Yukon that was built on the side of a steep mountain? I don't know what else you can say about it. We went there, we documented it, and we left. You've ever got hurt in a mine? Just a little bit by like rocks hit me a little bit, but not hard enough to do any permanent damage, or a visit to the hospital. Virtual reality game in an old mine, and I think we've talked about this quite a bit. I think Minecraft is the most popular video game that there is. Why wouldn't they go underground and film a real mine and use that for the graphics, and then they could have a game of, well, should we go down to that ore pass and then it collapses, whatever. They could make a real cool video game using virtual reality and actually filming in a mine, but they don't seem to want to. They just use the crappy stuff they got now, and people still play it anyhow. So
noticed you are marking shafts more. What is your criteria for marking? The loss factor is what gets me.
Well, it's just that mine we're in. Yeah, the way that mine's constructed just goes around in circles all the time. So you keep going around in circles and you can't find your way out. So that's be the criteria, I guess. Normally, if you're just in a fairly small mine, and most people that explore just small mines, you can just go to the right on each branch and explore the whole mine and be done. This one, we've been going into it for 6 months, and we've only explored a small amount of it. So the thing is, I guess, with marking the shafts, you can mark where you've been, so you're not wasting a lot of time going back into areas you've already been to. So that's the main reason why you mark stuff. Well, and plus, I guess you want to leave in a timely fashion at the end of the day, and you want to keep exploring when you want to go home.
When you want to see the light.
So the main thing with the safety and stuff is obviously to have lots of lights. So it would be the worst thing ever if not the worst thing, I guess, but pretty bad if you end up underground with no light.
Have you been in mines in Arizona?
Oh yeah, we've been in all kinds of mines in Arizona. When I was down there with Gly and stuff, those are all Arizona mines. And when we were in Castle Dome, we got the jeans and all that kind of stuff. We found all those old jeans from the 1800s. That's all in Arizona. I've watched every episode of my 65-inch TV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got, 50-inch TV or something. So yours is bigger than ours. But we're actually surprised that the video quality, it's quite sharp. You'd think it would be kind of snowy or something, but because we don't shoot in 4K, so even just on 1070, the video, the quality is really good. So there again. So I don't know why anyone would shoot anything in 4K. It's just overhyped, I think. Scariest wildlife encounter while looking for mines. This wasn't really an encounter, but I was going into a mine one time with a dog when I had Max, and he got in front of me and he just started kind of growling at me. He wouldn't let me into the mine, so I was thinking maybe he smelled a cougar or something. I don't know. So I didn't go in there, so it wasn't an encounter. But they have virtual reality 360 cameras now coming out with cool stuff. The problem is that takes up a lot of bandwidth, so that's kind of the problem with that. We have a 360 camera. It takes forever to edit anything. It looks cool. So if you're filming all that going around and just using a small part of it, it's a huge amount of data to manage and to edit.
Have you always been interested in mines as from a kid? As you being from a farming background like myself, I love looking at mines in Wales, Britain. No,
when I was in my 20s and we explored a couple of mines when I was down here on my Harley, just kind of cruising around the area. So that was the only exploring I ever did. You should get some tape with your logo on it.
Tape.
Sharon's going to have her own channel. I don't think so. I don't need competitions. We spent enough time doing this, and so yeah. I like Gly, but he's no Frank. I don't know if that's good or bad. Was that a shot? No. Yeah. Hello from Idaho. Hello. Good instincts living to max. Is there any mines you can't go in? Oh yeah, there's all kinds that are that are flooded or too unstable that you can't get into. Mostly blocked off.
What was the interesting thing you found deep in a mine? Also, best wishes from Germany.
Oh, we found all kinds of interesting things deep in the mines. It'd have to be more specific. I don't know what you're talking about. If you ever found an awesome chunk of property, give tip for others looking for a few acres in southern DC. Bring lots of money. It's pretty expensive. So we spent $250,000 buying a 27 acres on the side of a hill like this.
Watch any of Bill Barley's footage and books?
Yeah, we have a bunch of his stuff. So actually, Bill Barley was from Grand Forks, so he lived here. So he grew up around here. So kind of interesting. Do you travel to the U.S.? Yeah, we've been in the U.S. lots of times. So we haven't been able to. We just come back to the border when they shut it down because of COVID, and it's been shut down for the last year and a half. So we haven't been in the States for the last year and a half. Human remains. No, we've never found any human remains that I know of. I mean, if somebody dies in a mine, it's like today, people, they take the effort to find them and bury them. So people have died in mines, but I don't know why anyone would be left in there unless they, yeah. The best thing you can find in a mine is the way out, especially if you break the right-hand rule. Sharon seems to be pretty grateful when she sees the daylight at the end of the day, especially if it's a long day. I ever did the nasty in a mine? No, I mean, I seem to have, I can only concentrate on one thing at a time. We talked about it, but never did it. Maybe we spend the night there, maybe. I don't know. Have you ever been in any mines in Europe? No, I have not. Really, the only place I'd really like to go in Europe, my favorite place would be the Catacombs in Paris. I think it'd be a pretty cool place to visit.
Longest mine?
What's the longest mine you've been in? Probably the Jersey Emerald. That's about, well, that's the longest, probably, because it's, you can go in a long ways, but it's a more modern mine. It doesn't have like a lot of levels, but it goes in a long ways. We were in there all day with the side-by-side, so it's only about 12 miles of tunnels, but yeah, it doesn't go that deep. It goes in a long ways back. Slim, I'm able to watch your live channel. When you two come back to the US, let me know and I'll divvy up and pay all my expenses. Yeah, you should pay for your expenses. We want you to pay for our expenses now. Have you ever found any Roman tools or Iron Age tools? Well, I've never been to Italy, so probably not, no. Hey, Frank, I just wanted to say glad you guys are doing well. Yeah, we are. So right now we just cut all our hay. I'm waiting for it to dry, so I'd like to bale some hay and get that done, and we can do some more exploring. So the haying here kind of does, because we've got to move the irrigation around in summertime, so it kind of slows us down a little bit. But when we sell this place and move to the mine, we won't have to worry about that. So maybe our last year. Hey, what about Cerro Gordo mines? We've said this over and over again. Yes, we're going to Cerro Gordo and we're going to explore some mines with Brent. What's the strangest out-of-place thing you found in a mine? Oh, I've seen a bunch of... Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know if that's out of place. I found a whole bunch of VHS video cassette cases in the mine one time. I thought that was kind of strange. I don't know how they got it end up in there. There was no tapes, just all the cases. And one up here, so I don't know what it was doing there. So, yeah, I actually that. If you guys watch the Cerro Gordo stuff there, so that Sparks or whatever, he was in there, and those guys, they had a big hoe up there, 300. Like we got a 300 hoe too. So, and they dug out. I can't tell him, Brent, get rid of that little rubber tied backhoe. You can't do nothing with that thing. It's a toy. But he brought a 300 cat excavator up there, and they dug out a whole bunch of Addison went in there. So I kept telling Brent you should buy one of those. So that was kind of cool. That guy's got. So I watched one of his videos. This is pretty cool. He's got good style. He's kind of like me. He's kind of fast paced, a little bit reckless. But I mean, they dug out this one adit, and it wasn't secured. It was about 15 feet straight up on loose rock, and then Brent was there, and actually the wall fell over on him. Luckily, I guess he wasn't injured, but you're taking your chances, that's for sure. Are you going to grow cannabis next season? No, I'm not going to, but there's some people wanting to buy this place that were thinking about growing cannabis in here. So there may be cannabis growing here anyhow. So Your old lady has balls of steel. She doesn't like to be called old. Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty tough. Hoping you build a snack shop. We want to build a bar, never mind a snack shop. Well, not we, me maybe. I have a guy that worked in a mine and retired to give me his mining tools. It was in the Kearney mine in Arizona. Bless his heart. So happy you're going to go help Brent out finding a safer route to the water source. I don't know. I keep telling him I don't know what the heck he's trying to do with that well. I mean, it's kind of stupid. So pumps don't like to suck water. So he's down 700 foot in the shaft, and then he's got a pump, and then he's got his intake line goes way down there, and it's sucking up there, and he has nothing but problems with it. But it's because it's collapsing the hose, and now he's using a smaller PEC line, which is even worse because the pump's working too hard. He just needs to buy a submersible pump. Like if you have a deep pump, you put a pump at the very bottom, and it pushes all the water to the top. It's as simple as that. I don't know what they're fooling around with what they're doing there. So, but whatever. I told them that they don't listen to me. So, like 700 feet for a well isn't that deep. I mean, you just put a submersible pump, goes to the very bottom in the bore, and pumps the water up. No big deal. And the other thing is that you've seen that old hoist he's got. Well, that's the most Mickey Mouse thing. So the original hoist, they replaced it with a hydraulic motor or something that goes slow. It takes like 45 minutes to go 700 feet. The thing goes really slow. But those things are kind of dangerous anyhow as it is. And, it's an old one with the cable. And I don't know if I'd be all that keen about riding that thing. They got a ladder there. Why not just go up and down the ladder? They just put a rope there. You could belay down in a couple of minutes down the 700-foot level. You just put your curl on your chest ascender with a rope and just climb up the ladders going back up. Be perfectly safe and be a lot faster. I would just use that hoist for hauling materials up and down the shaft, and then anyone can run it. You don't have to be a horse operator or whatever. So I wouldn't use it for passengers to go up and down. It's too slow, and I think it's fairly dangerous. I mean, they've had that thing jam up in the middle. And what happens is the hoist operator is not paying attention. It jams up and it's going down to get a whole bunch of slack, and all of a sudden the thing lets go and it goes slamming down there. The cable's tied up, and then it ends up breaking. Those hoists killed lots of people back in the old days. And that's an old hoist, and I don't know if they really know what they're doing and kind of Mickey Mouse up together. I don't think I'd be that keen on riding that hoist 900 feet to the bottom of that mine. So that's my rant about Brent's hoist. Commercial grade pump with a 6 to 7 inch line. No, you don't need a huge line because they don't have the capacity. Even just a 1 inch should be fine or whatever. But you need a submersible pump because pumps are very good at pushing water. They're not good at sucking water. Even just like a regular pump or something, you can't, like we've got a big pump that we use for irrigation, but it's about 20 feet. It's a solid pipe of, I guess, a 3-inch pipe, and it sucks it up out of there, but it's difficult to prime it. You get just a little bit of air or something. It's a lot of suction. It's not good. You're better off to have the pump in the water just pushing. Sucking water is very difficult. Yeah. Yeah, something that I told Brent, I mean, this wouldn't be that complicated to get water up there. You get one of those Army 6x6s like I got, put a big tank in or whatever, you can just run, it's only 7 miles to town, fill it full of water and bring it up and put it in a tank if it doesn't have enough water. It's not that complicated, I don't think, but lots of people haul water. Commercial water pump like they use on Gold Rush. Oh no, that's not going to work for that. It's a high volume, low pressure pump. They wouldn't work for that. You just need just a regular pump like everybody else has that has a deep well on the property. And thousands of people have wells that are 700 feet down. It's no big deal to pump the water up from the bottom. Easier to push water than pull it. Yeah, this water doesn't, you can't suck water very well. They need to make a concrete cistern on a hill above the town also. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. With it being hot there, concrete would work good because we'll kind of insulate a little bit too, right? But they could have the cistern anywhere. Yeah, if you have a cistern above the town, and then you just pump the water up there, and then gravity could, you don't have to pump it out of there. Gravity could just do that. But the other problem is, you got to think about the winter time, right? So it's got to be insulated or whatever they got to deal with the winter. So bit of a. Have you ever had a mine cave on you? Not really. Sometimes when you're just kind of pulling some stuff out of a tight spot, you have a little bit of, you have steep rock and stuff. A little bit comes down on you, but nothing too exciting. Oh, I thought you were talking about moving a lot of water. I don't think that mine has. If you look at the very bottom where they're getting water from, I don't think there is a lot of water. I think they probably only maybe produce less than 5 gallons of water an hour if they were pumping constantly with it. So I don't know that. He hasn't talked about it too much. I wish he'd show his hoist. They showed a little bit of it, but maybe he's a little bit embarrassed about what happened. I think a bunch of they still got the original drum there, but I think the motor, they just have an electric motor running a small hydraulic pump that's running it. So, or something. It's, you look at that and they talk about the mine and all that and how much ore they mined out of there. Well, never, hardly ever mined anything out of it with that setup, that's for sure, because it's a tiny little hoist and you can only put one ore car at a time. Could you imagine taking 2 hours to pull one ore cart out of that mine? And plus the miners went up and down there. So, yeah. That's not even a good hoist for tourists. It's nothing that's going to do any, going to move any ore out of that mine. That's for sure. I don't even know what they would have really used that little hoist for. It's so small. Usually on the bigger mines and stuff where they mine a lot of stuff, they have an inclined shaft that goes at a real steep thing with 2 rails and a huge skip cars, and they're fast. They just scream up and down there. It goes down, the ore gets dumped into there, and then it goes up, and then a bend it drops, and they're just brutal. Where do you live? I live in Grand Forks, British Columbia, Canada. If I look out my window, I can see the Washington border from here. It's only half a mile to the States from here. Lunch buckets. It's not lunchtime yet, is it? No. It's only 10 o'clock.
It's not what he's talking.
I eat at 11, so lunchtime here is at 11. Yeah. You ever run into any bears in a mine? No. I was in a mine one time, and there was a bear that had been in there because it looked like he was kind of bedded down in the wintertime. Maybe he was hibernating there. But bears wouldn't go in a mine during the summertime. They're out there moving around. They would hibernate in there, but if you hit them in the wintertime, then they're just kind of groggy. So there wouldn't be much of a threat. Wouldn't be a good time to visit your museum. So we don't have a lot of visitors to our museum. So people just phone me and say, "Are you around? I want to come to your museum." Yesterday, 2 people came at the same time, or the day before. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So just give me a call if we're around. If we're not exploring mines or or just doing something like that, we can pick a time and you can come and have a look at it. So we don't have any regular hours because I'd be sitting there all day long and nobody would come visit it. So I would think. Well, you can only lift water about 25 feet and very limited at that. And yeah, that's what I was saying. So yeah, water pumps pump water. They don't suck water. Except for a very limited amount. Yep. Hello, Frank and Sharon. Hello, Angel, Kimbra Angel. You always wonder how they get these names on YouTube. I guess, because all the cool names like Exploring Bad Minds are taken up, so they got to pick something else. Why is the quality so bad? Oh, it's because this camera, this is a very old computer, and it's got an internal camera in it. And I don't know, I guess the screen's scratched up or whatever, and I don't look that good anyhow, so if you want, you can kind of see a little bit. So we tried to do a broadcast on our other video cam, on our other computer with Windows 10 on it with a GoPro, but it won't let me read the comments, so you're stuck with this one. So the sound's crappy, the picture's crappy, but the commentary is excellent, so you can't have everything. We time travel. AOL CDs. That's why do you ever go into any Arizona mines? Well, if you look on my website and you look back last year and all those stuff we went into mines, we spent 5 months in Arizona, mostly in mines in Arizona. last year. Those are all American mines. You guys look great. You probably need glasses. No. Yeah, well, thank you. Canada's great fishing. Yeah. Probably cigarette smoke. No, it's not cigarette smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes or anything else. Grade A commentary. Commentary or comedy?
Commentary.
Commentary. Yeah, maybe I should get glasses. Yeah, Frank is fuzzy in real life. Yeah, if you want to see us crisp and clean, watch our videos. Mexico was badass. Somebody said that. It held it for review. I'll show that. Yeah, that was cool. Mexico is a pretty cool place to visit. The cool thing about Mexico is you can do whatever the hell you want in Mexico. You can jump in the back of a pickup truck. There's no rules or laws. The sheriff isn't threatening you for anything. Well, not that you could understand anyhow.
Says our Staffordshire Bull Terrier loves your voice. She lays down and listens when you're on.
Some people say they use it to, when they go to work or something, they just leave the YouTube videos on to put the dogs to sleep.
How's the weather out there? Is there snow up in the mountains?
Oh, yeah, way up in the mountains, but you couldn't see it from here, so the mountains aren't that high here. The mountains around here only maybe 5,000-6,000 feet, so the snow's all gone.
Hi from Scotland.
Yes, we're planning on going to Cerro Gordo. I think this is what, I shouldn't.
No,
Yeah, we've answered that a few times, but anyhow, yeah, the border's closed, so we can't get up there until the border opens. Looks like Sharon blazed up before turning the camera on. What's blazed up mean? Glazed up? Shined up?
Get out of here.
Kids? No, I don't have any kids. We're too old for kids.
Whatever.
Have been there, done that. Bought a t-shirt. Water weight is about 8.6 pounds per gallon. For every foot in elevation, it's about half a pound of pressure. That's why most pumps only push 25 to 30 feet. No, it's the pulling is the problem. They can only pull so much. And your calculations are wrong because if you're going up 700 feet from the bottom, the pump pushes up, going up. The pressure is still only, 100 feet or something up there. It doesn't make any difference. It's that the pump shuts off, the water pushing down, that's the pressure at the pump at the very bottom, if that makes any sense. But that doesn't matter when the pump's operating. So.
First time I get my subscription notifications in months. So glad to see you again.
That's weird. I don't get any notifications from any. I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels. I never get any notifications. So I don't know how that works. And obviously, since you guys are watching this, you're getting a notification that the live thing's on. We don't get it. So I don't know how that works. YouTube's kind of strange.
Hi from the Netherlands. Silly border. They let Canadian geese fly over, but we can't drive across.
Yeah, that whole thing's strange to me. I don't know why you can get on a plane and fly to the States, or you guys can fly back and forth, but you can't drive. So what the hell? Yeah. I love every video. Keep going. Are you two from BC? We are. Sharon did live in Alberta, but she lives in BC now. So she moved here last fall. And we've been here pretty much ever since. Other than sneaking away a few times. But yeah. Okay, so I don't know. So we've been doing this we got over an hour in here so far. So it's probably getting close to coffee time. If you guys got some other questions about what we're doing, about the mine or whatever, we can answer them real quick. Other than that, we're just going to continue. We're going to do some more videos about the Monster Mega Mine, and then we've got a whole bunch of film about all what we're doing on this new mine that we're working on. So we'll kind of transition into that. And then, so if the border opens, then we're planning on going to Cerro Gordo, doing some videos with Brent, and then we're maybe going to see Jeff Williams and some other stuff. We don't have any plans for a new plane. I have a powered parachute. I'll have that flying soon. We're just waiting for the we've got a bunch of work done, so it's flying good now. We just have to get some work done on the props. Where's your mine located? It's in Grand Forks, British Columbia, Canada. Keep up the luck. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you next week if you're planning on watching our videos. The next one that's coming up, the Monster Mega Mine, is a really good one. So we've got some really good footage. It just turned out really good with lots of cool stuff. I'm going to show you in that one. And then there'll be more awesome stuff after that. We're going to go straight down that shaft. We're going to rope. So there's a shaft 600 feet below the surface. It's got huge timbers that go down as far as you can see. So we're going to rope down that shaft, and we'll find that. So, you ever found the heart of a mountain? What the hell's the heart of a mountain? When you get turned around in one mine, you don't have any sense of direction. Yeah, I don't know which way is north, but I kind of know where I came from sometimes. Not always. I don't know about that notification bell thing. It doesn't seem to work. Yeah, that is a good point. So there's 3 settings on that notification now. There's none. There's custom notification. You can hit that, and there's the bell. I don't know how it works. You can fool around with that notification thing. I don't know. It doesn't seem to work that well. So anyhow, okay, guys. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. And hopefully, maybe one of these days, we'll get our computers figured out, and you can have we can get that the GoPro working on the other computer. Who knows? I don't know. All right, so you guys have a good day. We're not going to do a midweek videos. We spend way too much time doing videos and filming stuff as it is. You guys, if you want to watch more videos, just watch the old ones we got. We got hundreds of them we did. All right, you guys. See you later. Have a good day.